just need to.
Unmute that?
Unmute. There's a button at the bottom.
Yeah, there you go. Just hit the unmute. Or you could do it on the. You can do it with the mouse, Craig, on the TV too. Oh, there we
There
go.
we go. That makes that cute noise.
Should be good, I think.
Okay.
That's why we shouldn't change seats.
All right, welcome, everybody. This is the Monday, June 9th meeting of the Select Board. We have a packed agenda tonight, so we're going to try to keep things moving along as best we can. First, we have some announcements. The first thing that I'd like to announce is that it is June, and we are celebrating Pride Month. And this month and every month, the town of Millis supports and celebrates the LGBTQ+ community. And we're committed to fostering a community where everyone feels seen, respected, and safe. So we all have our Pride stuff on tonight.
You've done all you can do.
And
I've done all I
think, I think people might have seen the little field of Pride flags we have out front on the town lawn. So we wanted to be able to do something to commemorate Pride Month. So
We did.
happy Pride.
Excuse me, Erin,
Yes.
can I just take the mouse from you? Sorry. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, so the next thing we have is a community forum that's upcoming. It's for the middle high school
go.
building project. There's a community forum this Wednesday. It's Monday, so 2 days, June 11th, from 1 to 2:30 at the Millis Public Library. So there'll be updates on the building project. You can review the selected preferred option and learn about next steps in the process. So that would be great if you're able to go to that. It is during the day, so there will be other forums held at other times, but this is one during the daytime if that fits in your schedule better. The Finance Committee currently has 2 openings. So if
As of
that,
today, there are 3.
okay, the Finance Committee has 3 openings.
Does that mean there's 4 people resigning, or did one of the people that had taken one of the 3 spots?
Yes,
step
one
up?
of the people moved to the school committee, and then 2 other ones resigned.
Okay.
So that's 3 open slots.
3 open
Yes.
slots, yes.
Okay.
3 total, yes.
So there's 3
one
openings
was
for the
filled.
Finance Committee. The function of the Finance Committee is to act as an advisor to the voters of the town of Millis, with whom ultimate appropriating authority rests. The town administrator, who reports to an elected select board, administers municipal functions. The superintendent of schools, who reports to an elected school committee, administers the operation of the school department. The Finance Committee is not elected but appointed by the town moderator. Because of this fact, the Finance Committee functions on an advisory basis and avoids setting policy. The Finance Committee is not part of either of the 2 general functions of municipal operation and education, and therefore remains objective in its recommendations. So the job is to study the budget and each warrant article in detail and then make recommendations to town meeting. So the Finance Committee has a really big job, and people do rely on their recommendations and reasoning at town meeting. They're the ones that make the motions. They're the ones that, participate in the first level of discussion for each motion. So you don't have to be a finance whiz or anything like that to be on the Finance Committee. You just have to have the best interests of the town in mind, and you'll do a just fine job on the committee. So if it's something you're interested in trying out and looking into, then please contact
Yep, you can
our
contact
office.
the town administrator's office. You can send an email to townadministratorsoffice@millisma.gov, or if you go on the homepage of the website, there's a little square button on the left-hand side. Click on that, and it says Jobs and Volunteers, and you can find the information there as well.
Yeah,
And they're taking applications through June 20th.
or until they fill it, I'd imagine.
Well, or until filled, but
Yeah.
so far, we do have a bit of interest so far.
Good.
but-
I'll just say, having done it for over 20 years before I came to this, it's a great way to learn about town government and have a direct impact on it. And you don't have to know anything about finance at all. I mean, I'm a CFO, so I knew about finance, but about 2/3 of the people on the committee have really no financial background. I tried to have the name changed to Warrant Committee, because really their job is to recommend on the warrant, which includes zoning articles, financial articles, planning, the planning board stuff. So it's way more than finance. The budget is one of the articles that they recommend on, but there's usually 20 other articles that have very little to do with finance. So anyway, it's a great place to start, and you shouldn't be intimidated by the word finance committee. That scares a lot of people off.
All right, the next announcement is the Cultural Council Annual Art Festival. That's this coming Saturday, June 14th at the Millis Public Library from 12 to 3. And the theme is Art Building Community. So there'll be a gallery of local art. You can create chalk art, a Broadway review, face painting, make crafts, improv games, a dance lesson, and more. So it sounds like it'll be a fun afternoon at the library. And the last announcement I have is the Summer Social has been promoted recently on social media and other places. And it is for a light dinner that you can bring your friends, family, neighbors to in the area in Millis. And it's being sponsored by the Economic Development Committee. I know it appears as though it's a library function, but it is from the Economic Development Committee. So you can bring your family, friends, neighbors to a summer social, share your ideas about how to make the town center a more vibrant place. Professional staff of the award-winning Hudson Mass, BID, and a Main Streets organization will share their success stories. And we're just seeking input as it explores ways to potentially create a town center partnership organization. So there'll be food catered by Lucas, and gift certificates to local businesses will be raffled at the end of the evening. And all ages are welcome, so it sounds like that will be a fun time. So that is Wednesday, June 11th, from 6 to 7:45 at the Millis Public Library.
Erin, can I
Yes.
have a couple?
Yeah, you have a couple?
Yep, I have a couple. A couple announcements that got nothing to do with nothing. Those are the best kinds of announcements. I don't know if everybody gets this letter in the mail, but I did, as a select person in Millis. This is the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. I got a letter a month ago. I think we all got
We
this
did,
letter.
yeah.
Did everybody in Millis get this?
No.
Oh, okay, just the select board? Okay, somebody told me everybody
I got it.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Finance
Maybe it's
committee
because
may get
somehow
it
I'm-
too.
Did any of
Okay.
you guys get a letter from the Norfolk? Oh,
Yeah.
You all got it?
Yeah.
I think
All right.
town officials may be getting it too,
Oh,
just by
maybe.
Maybe,
judging by
'cause I was
the
gonna say, I
hand
definitely
raising
got
out
it.
there.
Anyway,
Why?
anyway, it's a letter from the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds, because they give each town money, a percent of every deed that gets transferred in the town of Millis. A percentage comes to the town, and it goes into the budget of the, which one, CPC?
yes.
Which CPC? The
Community
Community Preservation
Preservation
Committee. Commission. So Millis, in 2024, because of all the transfers of property, received $84,875. That money goes to the CPC, and part of that money goes, well, part of it's going to the renovation of the train station, right? The $125,000. And so this is money that goes into their budget, and they handed out some for signage for the Conservation Commission, et cetera. So it's not chump change that comes, and it was almost $85,000 in 2024. So I thought that was very cool. And then one other thing that Millis got, people are just giving us money. We got our first big legal settlement payment with the companies that are associated with PFAS. So we got a little over $300,000, which is only a first payment, we believe. Mike, you want to add a little color to this?
Sure. This is something that the DPW director and I and the board have been working on for several years. And this is part of a class action lawsuit against companies that produce PFAS on an industrial scale. 3M is one of the big players in that. And so again, we are part of a very broad class action suit. And this is the first part of the settlement. And the town, again, is receiving these funds. We'll receive additional funds in the future, which we hope will take off some of the burden of the water ratepayers for the all the PFAS needed filtration and so forth. So It's good news.
Yes, it's
And
good news.
it'll be, again, continued, and we'll keep the board updated as we move along. And there are other companies involved as well. So, it's a
Right.
good piece of news in what otherwise has been a difficult process that we've
Right.
tried to stay ahead of.
Yes, but we are fighting and trying to get reimbursed for all these costs. And then the final piece was, just came out in the Globe the other day, that the towns that were fighting the MBTA zoning, and they were putting their argument on whether or not it was an unfunded mandate, the judge just came down, was it yesterday or Friday?
Last week, yeah.
That it was no surprise. It is not an unfunded mandate, so the towns that were fighting that, Milton, there were like a handful of towns, 6 or 8 towns, they lost that case. So they will be creating MBTA zoning. Those are my announcements.
Do you have anything, Craig?
I got nothing, except we were ahead of the game on the MBTA zoning. We got that done.
All right, so the next thing we have on our agenda is our municipal moment, and tonight we're going to have the Recreation Department come speak to us. We're going to just learn a little bit about their mission and some of the big upcoming events, wherever
Either
you
one.
want. Whatever makes you happy.
Erin, come on. I'm dragging your crony up with you. Your coworker.
My right-hand woman.
That's right.
Good evening, Chris Fogarty, Millis Recreation Director, and my right-hand woman, Erin LeBlanc, who's our Program Coordinator for the town of Millis. First, I do want to let you know, I'm glad you brought that up with the CPC funding. We are currently looking into getting some of those funds for some tarps for the field. So Jim McKay and I have been discussing that, and we're looking into that. So we are going to try to take advantage of that. So thank you for bringing that up. Just want you to know that we are paying attention. So municipal moment. I got 1 minute, so here I go. You ready?
No, you have a
You have more
moment.
than that, we changed it.
It
I'm
was
good.
going to
No,
be a
I'll take a
moment.
minute. I'll take a minute. So a couple things we have coming up. And again, thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to come in and kind of share some of our things that we're doing and our mission and mottos. I know you requested our mission, but I'd like to start with saying our motto is probably better than anything. It's be fun, have fun, give fun, and that's what we do. And we try from infants to active adults in every aspect in what we do. What we have coming up currently is the carnival. So that's going to be this year at the town park from June 26th through June 29th. And we have fireworks scheduled for that Saturday evening at approximately 9:30 p.m. So everybody come on down. There will be some special bracelets. We have the link on our website. You can purchase things in advance. And just come down. It's a tradition now, so we're really happy that they're coming back, and it's always a good time. If anybody does want to donate to the fireworks, which costs about, well, it's not about, it's a minimum of $10,000 to put on the fireworks display. We do have some information on the website if you'd like to donate, and it would just be made payable to either the fireworks gift fund, or we actually were able to set up a link and you can click on it on the town website to donate directly. And we've been very fortunate. We've had a lot of great response from the community and local businesses, and I'm proud to say that we have met our goal for this year. But again, if anybody does donate, it's a specific gift fund. Any of those funds will go directly towards any future fireworks. It's not going to go to anything else, so it's specific for the fireworks. Again, fireworks will be on June 28th at 9:30 p.m. here at 900 Main Street, Town Park. come on down. It's a great time. The carnival's always fun. Next event we have coming up is this weekend. It's the Father's Day Fishing Derby, which is always fantastic. It's at South End Pond, which is a little, like, secret little beauty in our town. And it's always a great turnout. We're very fortunate. We have Keith's Tackle, always comes down. He's amazing. He always comes down with the bait. We have trophies and T-shirts for the first 25, 30 dads that come down to register. It's free.
Is it both days?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's just June 15th, Sunday, June 15th. At 9 a.m., we sound the bell, you go, you do your fishing, you come in, and we weigh and measure your fishes, and we keep track of it, and then tally it all up at the end. We ended at about 11 o'clock, so it's always fun. It's always a great turnout, so it's nice to see all the little kids that when they were little and now they're kind of big and bringing their own kids down there. Oh, have I been here that long? Okay. Next event that we have coming up that people might be interested in is we have the Goats of Dover, who have graciously come back again. Again, speaking of South End Pond, we had the goats down there. They got rid of all the poison ivy a couple years ago, which was amazing. It cleared out a lot of space. But now we're going to bring back and have another round of goat yoga, which I know some of you have attended, and it's really fun. We've also added on to that a story time with goats, and that's from a local author, Kathleen Flaherty, who wrote An Octopus Named Mom. I don't know if anybody has this book. But
I have
anyway.
that book.
See? Yay. So she's going to come down. She's going to read her book and maybe a couple other books. And so we'll have story time with goats. And then right afterwards, we're going to have goat yoga. So it's two separate events, but the goats will all be down there, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cute.
They're adorable.
Where will they be?
Yeah, where do you bring them?
So this is going to be on next Saturday, June 21st, and they're right out here at the town courtyard, the town hall, right out in the courtyard out
Right,
here.
the back entrance of the gym?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they put like a little fence up and they let the goats run around. It's so cute. So there is a fee for that. It's $35, but per class. You can find all this information on the website, in our brochures, or just call us. We'll be happy to help you out. Let's see. We also have a lot of summer programs coming up. Some fabulous camps. Of course, our Get Out and Play, which is a staple here. We've also tried to, due to the requests of the town, people like a full day. So where we try to split up our Get Out and Play program is 9 to 12. Erin was fantastic in reaching out to another company so that we could have a 12 to 3 extended program. So we'll have the Get Out and Play from 9 to 12, and then from 12 to 3, we have several other programs that will extend that day, including engineering workshop, vet school, what is it, the kitchen, I'm sorry.
Kids cooking or something?
Thank you. Kids cooking, help me here.
So you have the option, it's kind of like an a la carte.
It's
sort of
fantastic.
situation
Yeah.
where,
Yes.
Nice idea.
Wicked Cool for Kids is a science-based program.
Yeah.
And so each week that we hold Get Out and Play, they'll offer they'll offer a different class. So they're offering engineering workshop, they are offering vet school, rocket science, and Hogwarts STEAM Express. So those would take the day from previously that would end at 12 to a 3 p.m. end time, which some people wanted. We got a lot of feedback from parents wanting a full day. Some people do not want that. Some people want that half day. So this kind of allows us to satisfy everybody's needs.
Yeah.
And that kids' cooking class extends it for 1 week for just an hour, just till 1 o'clock. But it just gives like a medley of choices.
That's great to have those options.
And they're all on site, so the counselors will take the kids from the first half to the second half, so the parents don't have to worry about, their kids' safety or how are they getting to and from. We're going to take care of all of that. So.
I think our minute's almost up. All right, last but not least. Moment. Oh, sorry, moment. Okay. Last but not least, another highlight we just wanted to bring to your attention is, of course, the summer concert series. So every Wednesday in August at the bandstand, starting at 6:30 p.m., we have a lineup of local artists that will be coming. It's all free. It is sponsored by Middlesex Savings Bank and the Millis Cultural Council. So this summer we have August 6th. I'll go very quickly through these. August 6th will be Michael Torreira, which I'm sure a lot of people know. August 13th will be the Pub Kings, backed by popular demand. They're fantastic. If you haven't seen them, please come down. August 20th, the School of Rock, which is all the kids, like they go, and you can maybe speak a little bit more about them, but they're fantastic. It's kids. They're coming down and they're just amazing. And August 27th is Flashback. So also along with that, we've coordinated with CC's Ice Cream and Augusta's Chicken on the Road food truck.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So bring your blanket, bring a chair, bring your family, bring your neighbors, bring your friends. Make some memories. Come on down. We'll have some ice cream. There'll be a food truck available. Again, the concerts are free. And if you opt to bring your own picnic dinner, have at it. It's amazing. So we love to see everybody getting up and dancing and just enjoying the summer and making memories with everybody. So thank you for the opportunity. And
Thank you, guys. I think you've had a fantastic lineup this year of programming, so
Good
it's
stuff.
been great. Yes.
so thank you. All
Lots
right.
to look
Thank you
forward
for the
to.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Have a good summer. We'll
Yeah.
see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hope the weather cooperates.
I know.
All right, so next we have a number of appointments on the agenda. First, we're going to start, am I in the right order for the motions?
Yes, you
Yeah,
should be.
okay.
Yep.
So first, I'm going to start with police traffic officers.
Good evening. This evening, I'm requesting the authorization to appoint the following individuals as traffic supervisors for the police department. These individuals are responsible for directing and managing traffic to ensure a seamless and safe flow of our roads. So they're going to augment our full-time staff to cover any extra road construction. Comprised of retired police and current communications officers. It's going to be Sergeant William Dwyer, who's retired, Robin Cahill, Garen Isley, Liana Ladola, Tegan LeBlanc, and Nicholas Elizio.
Yeah, Madam Chair?
Yes.
On the recommendation of the police chief, I do recommend that the board ratify my appointment of retired Sergeant William Dwyer, Robin Cahill, Garen Easel, Liana Ladola, Tegan LeBlanc, and Nicholas Elizio as traffic supervisors for the town of Millis.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Great,
you.
Thanks.
Okay, next we have DPW HEO laborers.
So that would be heavy equipment operator laborers.
Heavy equipment operator.
Thank you.
In case anyone doesn't know what HEO is.
Good evening. So this is an open position that was through a resignation. This isn't the new position that we're going to hopefully appoint somebody within the next couple of weeks. We interviewed a couple of candidates, and myself and David Romaci, the DPW superintendent, narrowed down to Ethan Lazar. I hope I said that correct. Ethan is a graduate of Millis High School. He's also one of the, him and Kyle, who's here also, are the last two who were on the Super Bowl teams that played for Millis. It's a big deal for me. I don't know about you guys, but it is for me, who appreciates that. Ethan showed during the application and discussion that he shows the enthusiasm that, we would need. We've been pretty successful with hiring past people that have worked and went to Millis High School. I mean, this year, we're going to have 2 more Millis High students that, for our summer help, and this will be our 4th full-time DPW person working at the DPW that's graduated from Millis High School. It's been very successful, like I said, with that trend of hiring people that have gone to the school. Ethan's here. Well, I guess if you want to wait, do the appointment. So we do, again, myself and the superintendent do recommend to the town administrator that you hire Ethan Lazar as the HEO laborer. He'll be working at the transfer station Tuesday through Saturday.
Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Ethan Lazier as a heavy equipment operator laborer pending a successful physical examination and with the condition that a 2B hoisting engineering license and CDL Class B driver's license are obtained within 1 year of appointment.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the rain.
Next time.
Which one?
Yeah. Congrats. Okay. Moving on.
Oh, you're leaving? I think you need to come back, right?
Yes.
You have one more.
Well,
Thank you.
See ya.
thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ethan.
Welcome.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So I'm doing the summer help, right?
Yes.
Yes, summer.
So we
summer
have,
work.
one of these gentlemen he was here with us last year, and he had so much fun, he roped his older brother into it. I thought I had it.
So it's Brendan and Aiden Ludwig. Is that
Brendan and Ludwig.
And Aiden
And Aiden
Ludwig.
Ludwig.
Yes.
They both have, again, one is graduated from Millis High, he's in
Yes.
college,
Yeah,
and the other
Aiden.
is a Millis junior. Again, Brendan worked with us last year, and he was a great success, so we'd like to have him back. This is going to give us, I think this is going to give us 7, and most of them, because of their age, we can only let them work 20 hours a week. They can only use weed whackers, so there's so much we can do with them, but they can pick trash up, and there's a lot of weeds that need to be, there's a lot of trash.
And weeds, too.
Yes.
And weeds, yes. We'll take
So,
it.
Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Aiden Ludwig and Brendan Ludwig as summer DPW workers pending successful physical examinations.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
I'll be back.
Okay. Next, we have Deputy Plumbing and Gas Inspector.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In your packet is a memo from, or an email from Robert Fogarty, our building commissioner, who is enthusiastically recommending Chris Canny for the position of alternate building commissioner for the town of Millis. Both our current building commissioner, as well as Karen and I, have had the opportunity and privilege of working with Chris really over the past couple years in a few different capacities. He has certainly helped us out several times, being a temporary building commissioner and a temporary alternate building commissioner. So with that, I would recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Christopher Canny as alternate building commissioner effective July 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion
So
carries
I just
unanimously.
realized, sorry.
Yeah,
So
that's
yes,
okay.
that we there's a paper missing in here. So first it was a deputy building inspector. So this deputy building inspector is Stephen Frasca. You may know him from town already. He will be coming on, like I said, as deputy. Tim Costello is our current plumbing and gas inspector, so that he, as a deputy, would just fill in if he's not available.
Okay, so that's coming in another meeting.
Nope, that's
No,
that's
it's on-
today. I
it's-
just
it's
forgot
on
to
your
put the-
agenda.
Somehow the paper got lost in
It
all
is
this
on your
paper.
agenda, it just didn't make it into the...
So I would recommend to you to recommend his appointment
Right.
pending a successful physical inquiry.
So, Madam Chair, I do recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Mr. Frasca as the Deputy Plumbing and Gas Inspector.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Missing that one.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, again, in the board's agenda packet, you do have a few emails or a few memos from the library director, Kim Tolson. One is recommending Newton Matthew to be appointed to the position of on-call library assistant. So I am recommending that the board ratify my appointment of Newton Matthew and Hannah Rochelle, who was another person put forward by the library director, as on-call library assistants pending successful physical examinations and queries.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Recreation camp
Yes,
counselors?
Madam Chair, in your packet, again, is a memo from the, okay,
Sorry.
good.
I don't know if I'm supposed to come up.
I will turn it over to you.
Okay, what do you need from me? Just the list of our
Yes.
counselors?
Well, we have the
list.
and the motion, so unless you want to
Unless
speak
you
about
want to
them.
add anything about the candidates.
Well, they're amazing.
Okay,
As I would expect, but
A whole
yeah.
bunch. We have a whole bunch who are returning.
Yes.
And then we have a whole separate bunch who are new to us. New to the program is Maggie Graham will be our director. Mia Carr will be a lead adult counselor, along with Amanda Fallon will also be the lead counselor. So the youth counselors are Alex Avakian, Riley Ensminger, Abigail Kay, Nora Malloy, Tessa Molinari, Abigail Palmer, Molly Rand, Nora Skinnell, Erin Sullivan, Ben Walker, and Abigail Zampel. Also equally as important are our volunteer counselors. They'll be volunteering through Millis Rec Serves for community service hours. And that is Sydney Ensminger, Caitlin Palmer, and Emma Donahue. So it's a super great crew.
Fantastic.
It's going to be a great summer. We're excited.
So,
I was going to say, just in the motions, I did not include the volunteer counselors unless you think they need to be officially appointed.
They're not required to be
Yeah,
appointed.
so I
They're
think
not
that's
paid.
why, so they're not paid, so that's
I
why.
just wanted to give
No,
them a
thank
little
you for
recognition,
recognizing that.
absolutely.
So just-
They work hard.
I was going to say, unless you
Yes.
think
I
they
have
need
one
to be.
question. Do we run the volunteer counselors through the same Corey and stuff background check, or are they underage?
No, they are middle schoolers.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. The lead counselors have to have Corey's
wouldn't
and
tell you if they
physicals,
did.
so they do both.
Yeah.
So, Madam Chair, I actually have a series of motions or recommendations. So the first is that I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Molly Graham, Amelia Carr, and Amanda Fallon as lead counselors pending successful queries.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in
Move
favor,
right through
say
that.
aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
motion carries.
And Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Alex Avakian, Tessa Molinari, Abigail Palmer, Molly Rand, and Abigail Zampel pending receipt of active work permits.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I recommend that the board ratify my appointment of Riley Ensminger,
Your reappointment, right?
reappointment of Riley Ensminger, Abigail Kay, Noreen Malloy, Nora Skinnell, Erin Sullivan, and Benjamin Walker.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank
Great,
you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam
Okay.
Chair, I think the last appointment on your
Yes.
list today, you did receive in your packet a memo from the fire chief, Chief Barrett, requesting the appointment of Catherine Dowling as an intern call firefighter. Just a little background, two of our members from the fire department presented at the career fair at Mass Maritime and gathered a great deal of interest from students about internships. Catherine's a Norfolk resident. They contacted the department and scheduled an interview. Catherine is a junior at Mass Maritime, majoring in emergency management. She is passionate about public safety and has taken on leadership roles at the academy. She will work with the department to become an EMT and a certified firefighter, as well as work with the chief directly in emergency management to complete the town's CEMP plan. and he is requesting her appointment. So I am recommending to the board that you ratify my appointment of Catherine Dowling as an on-call firefighter/intern pending a successful physical examination and Corey.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, so next we have the approval of proposal for engineering services, lead and copper rule revisions and improvements compliance.
Thank you. And that's a mouthful.
Yes, it
And that's
is.
what it is. And that's exactly, this is another one of the state's unfunded mandates. It's a regulation that we have to comply with, and there's not much we can do about it. We all do remember, we all received in the mail a checklist of what we're requesting all homeowners to do is to get out of their basement, take a picture of their water meter, that general vicinity, and send it back to us. We've had very little reply to that. So now we're going to have to follow up with more letters, and every time we don't get response, we still have to remind the homeowners every November that they have to send this information in until the entire system is taken care of. We will eventually have to start sending people knocking on doors, making phone calls, if everyone doesn't comply with that. There's a certain, lead was usually used between 1983 and around 1980-something, you know, in that time frame, when builders used lead for the pipes. We don't have that many in Millis, but we still have to prove that we don't have it. So this contract is with Kleinfelder. They've already done our first 2 phases. They've filed all the applications for us, and they make sure that everything is done properly. So this is phase 2, and that's in the amount of $187,000. And that money was appropriated back in May 7, 2024, Article number 10 at the annual Springtown meeting on that date.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I am recommending that the board approve the 3-year contract for the lead and copper rule as presented by the Department of Public Works Director.
I move that the board approve and enter into a 3-year contract for lead and copper rule compliance assistant Phase 2 with Kleinfelder Northeast, Inc. for a not-to-exceed amount of $187,000 and authorize the town administrator to sign on the town's behalf.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. The next bid is for Liberty Chevrolet. This is a contract that, the dump truck with sander and plow that was approved at this past May town meeting. We understand that we will not accept the vehicle until after July 1st because the funds won't be available for us to accept that. So I would ask that there is no trade-in with this vehicle, because that one's going to the junkyard, that we're going to replace this one with. I would ask that it not to exceed $98,830.10.
I move that the board approve and enter into a contract for 2025 Chevy Silverado dump truck with sander and plow from Liberty Chevrolet of Wakefield, Mass. for an amount not to exceed $98,831 and authorize the town administrator to sign on the town's behalf.
I just have one question. Is there no residual metal value? Nothing?
Oh, yeah, we
You get
traded in.
scrap.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, I'm sorry.
All right,
So,
good.
yeah.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
And lastly, this contract, this is for the meteor that's inside the PFAS treatment canisters that cleans the water. Are we on that one now?
There was two from the fire chief.
Okay.
We could just deal with those quickly first,
This
if
is-
you
You
want.
can wait up there, these are
Yeah,
quick.
these are very quick.
Yep.
So, Madam Chair, in the board's packet, you'll see a memo from Chief Barrett for quotes for the fire alarm upgrade and the UTV trailer. He is requesting that the board approve the ordering of both. Each of these will take several months to complete, and invoicing will not happen until, well, after July 1st. So I am recommending, bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I am recommending that the board approve and enter into a contract for a TRX-50 radio box receiver system equipment, including installation, programming, testing, and training with LW Bills Company of Georgetown, Mass. for an amount not to exceed $75,082.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And the other item, on behalf of the chief, I'm recommending that the board approve and enter into a contract for an 8.5 by 16-foot flat-top front car hauler trailer with Yerid Trailer Sales and Service of Medfield, Mass. for an amount not to exceed $13,500.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
So just a quick note on Mr. Yeard. Mr. Yeard's a Millis resident, and he's been very good to all of us. I can tell you that all our trailers at the DPW we purchased through him. Competitive bids, but he's been very good to the town of Millis. The last bid that I have for tonight is a granular, I'm going to get into technical, a 3-year contract for granular activated carbon replacement services. So what I mean is the media that's inside the tanks, they're not there forever. I mean, they have to be taken out, and so it's in the tank. We will own that, and we're going to own this product here. So the process when we first looked at this was that we would have to shut the well down one at a time, and this way we won't have to shut the well and keep it down while it's trucked off and cleaned and brought back and put into service. This way we'll be able to empty it and fill it back up with a second group of media that we own. And this is for all 3 wells for today. This will be wells for wells 1, 2, and 3. So that the funds that we received, hopefully in the future we'll be able to use that to offset even like the cost of this. We're still working on how we're going to pay for this. I mean, we have the funds to pay for it, so I don't want to give it a bad impression. We definitely have the funds, but working with the finance director, she's looking at different ways that will best suit to get this paid for. So I would ask that you approve the contract not to exceed $195,400.
I move that the board authorize the town administrator to sign the notice of award for a 3-year contract with Granular Activated Carbon Replacement Systems replacement services to Calgon Carbon Corporation of Moon Township, PA, for a total amount not to exceed $195,000,400.
That's all made up.
It is.
That's why I let him say it.
It's made up.
That's what
So maybe we won't have to pay it. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we have the review and approve the Run Back to School race event and Millis Girls Softball Family Day event. So first, we'll have Allison Maurer.
And just quickly, the Millis Girls Softball Family Day event was canceled, and so
Oh.
we do not need to approve that,
Okay.
unfortunately.
All right.
But yes, Allison Marr is here.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I am here on behalf of the Millis Boosters. I am the race director. This will be our 8th year, I believe, for the Run Back to School. It kind of continues to take off, which is exciting. We had our biggest year by far last year, over 200 participants. A larger contingency of younger runners, which is exciting, more community members, outside the community members. As it grows, we have plans to streamline things, just slightly change to make it less crowded and just more user-friendly. But it's fun. Everyone usually has a good time, and I appreciate the support that some of you have come year after year, so I appreciate that. So we're just requesting, ahead of tonight, I've touched base with the fire and police chiefs, school administration, the facilities manager over there, the rec department, DPW, just trying to make sure that everyone is on board and no conflicts, and it seems like everyone else says it's a go, so hopefully we can confirm that tonight.
And Ellen said you'd run again, right, Ellen?
Yes, but I have only on the condition, I don't want to make a thing here, but you need an over 70 class.
That's on the list.
Because I can't be competing with somebody who's 60.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I think our numbers support that.
Do they support it?
We do, yes.
If not, I'll bring...
More categories.
I'll bring some older people. Okay, that's good. I'm kidding, it's not. It would be good.
And, sorry, I was going to add one other thing, which is a little bit of a teaser. So I had reached out to Allison. We had spoken to a different Allison. And next year, we are planning to do a Millis Day, an official Millis Day. So that will be on your next agenda to talk about getting a committee together and whatnot, but we thought, what better way than to tail off of the run?
Yes.
So the beginning of the day would be the run, and then we would just move right into having a full Millis Day, and so we'll talk more about that next time, but just something to think about. It's pretty exciting.
Awesome.
Thank you for considering us part of it.
Yeah, so we
Thank
thought
you.
that'd be great. So it's Allison, and the other one is another Allison,
Oh, my
so.
goodness. I think that's a sign,
Yes, it's a sign.
something.
All right, I move that the board approve the Boosters Run Back to School event to be held on Sunday, September 28th, from 7 a.m. to noon, in coordination with Millis Police, Fire, DPW, and school.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Very good. Only
Yeah,
2
you
minutes
have a
behind
hearing.
schedule.
Yay! All right, next, we have a hearing for the all alcohol license
Are you
for
here for the hearing?
36 B&C Milliston Road.
Come on up. So you need to open the
Move to
hearing
open the public
first.
hearing.
Does she need to recuse herself?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, probably.
yeah, it'd probably be
Your
best if you
financial
recused
interest, so
yourself,
yes.
just for the, yeah,
Alright.
for this item.
So do I say that or just get up?
Ellen recuses herself.
I would, just to make it clear. So if you want to call the hearing.
Yep, so you need to,
I move the board into a public hearing for 36 Pub LLC DBA, how do I say the name?
Rigna.
Arigna Irish Pub and Coal Fire Kitchen to consider an all alcohol license application.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. So we are now in open hearing.
So I will just start by saying that the Arigna came to us, or 36 Pub LLC, came to us looking for an all-alcohol license. We have plenty of restaurant all-alcohol licenses available by the state. And again, you are the local licensing authority, so it is your purview as to whether you approve or do not, or deny this application. But I will tell you, they came, they had all their ducks in a row, so to speak. There's a big list of things that they need to provide, and they have provided all of them. So once you go through this process and have a little discussion with them, we send it off to the ABCC for final approval. Abutters were notified, as well as a legal ad was placed in the Old School Milford Daily News, because the state still requires that. But again, it looked like all the ducks were in a row to me. The only question that I think I didn't have the answer to were the business hours, that you might want to speak to us about what hours you were looking to be open. Other than that, I leave it to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, let's kick it off with that. We're, first of all, very excited about
Yes.
the business. It sounds like a nice place, nice idea. What would your hours be?
We're looking for 7 days a week, open for 11:30 for lunch, and then obviously dinner service, and then bar service, pending the license, following till the 1 o'clock license, I assume, will be issued.
1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Is that consistent with what we have
Yeah,
with the other
Yes,
places? Yes.
I will
okay.
tell you, Millis does not have a very big late-night crowd typically. So
Who knows,
you may
it'll
not have a
change.
ton of people at one. Then again, I'm
never
getting
know.
old and I don't go out that late anymore, so maybe there is a really big crowd out there that I don't know about. But, so you may end up finding that you want to close a little earlier, but yes, 1 a.m. is the,
Okay, all right, great. Craig, what questions do you have?
When do we think
Okay,
it'll be open?
yep, got it.
When do you think it'll be open?
oh, that's a good question.
Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, so try to keep the
Yeah.
mic like 4
Yeah.
inches.
Also,
Yeah.
just to introduce, this
Yes,
is
please.
this is Ryan. I'm Kevin Sullivan on behalf of the applicant. And this is Ryan Blaney, who's actually the manager of the Arigna Irish Pub over in Bellingham. So
Okay.
just by way of quick introduction.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So we're shooting for, by the end of the summer, to be open.
Okay,
We're doing a kind of a remodel, uplift, paint job.
Yep.
It needed some TLC, and we're taking our time to make sure it's done right.
okay. Just because I'm curious, Are you planning to have like a function room space in there? I thought there was a room that could be used for like functions or large groups or...
Yes, so pre-existing, there was a smaller room. What we've opted to do is kind of have an expanded area that would be kind of like overflow for dining.
Okay.
But also has the ability to be sectioned off for private events.
Okay, great. You don't have, no, I mean, I think it'll be great to see that space come alive again with another business, and looking forward to trying it out.
The only other thing that you'll need, obviously, is a common victular license. And entertainment, are you planning to do any entertainment, like bands and such?
Yeah, typically what the Arigna group does, we have more of a one or a two-piece acoustic that's usually during dinner hours on the weekends. Nothing like full-on bands. Possibly for St. Patrick's Day, there might be like a four-piece, band set up. But other than that, it's mainly just atmosphere.
So do they need
So,
an
yeah.
entertainment license then?
Yes, you do. It's inexpensive. It's an annual license. It's $100 for the annual license. So better to just get yourself covered. Same with the common victular license. And I can send you, I don't know if I did send you the information yet, but we can do that a little closer to when you're ready to open if you want to. Just let me know. The board doesn't meet quite as much in the summer, so we may want to get that on for like the first meeting in August at the latest, or the July meeting. So just keep that in your back of your mind.
Anything else?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is there anybody in the community that has any questions or comments or anything? Hearing none?
Okay, I'm looking
It's
forward
exciting.
to getting it open. So it's great.
Yes.
I move the board close the public hearing for 36 Pub LLC, DBA Arigna Irish Pub and Coal Fire Kitchen to consider an alcohol license application.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
I move that the board approve the request for an annual all-alcohol restaurant license for 36 Pub LLC, DBA Arigna Irish Pub and Coal Fire Kitchen located at 36B and C Moleston Road is presented pending a local inspection and final approval by the ABCC.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
and good luck.
Appreciate it.
And now we have another alcohol license. This one is simply an amendment, which means that it does not require a hearing, but it still requires approval by the local licensing authority. Again, that's you. And this one is for Ryan Family Amusements. They're simply changing kind of the back structure, the corporate name, and the corporate structure. So you have the official approval on that. There's not much more to it. Doesn't need to be advertised or anything. Again, they had a list of documents they had to provide, which they did. And so I will send this off to the ABCC following your approval.
Okay.
Okay, I move that the board approve the application to amend the annual wine and malt alcohol license for Ryan Family Amusements located at 1170 Main Street by changing the corporate name and structure as presented.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Were
Motion
you here
carries
for that?
unanimously.
Were you here for that?
No.
No, okay, sorry, just, all right, just asking, I'm like, I was like, you were looking, I'm like, oh, were they here to speak to that? I didn't think so, sorry.
Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we have on our agenda is, and we're 5 minutes early. I just wanted to point that out.
We could do the website contract if
Well, you don't
want
have to wait.
Or do you,
It's up to
there's
you.
no,
No, less than, just under 5 minutes. I think we're okay.
okay, just telling you.
So we're going to start a discussion about school crossing guards. This issue has come up recently on social media, and there has been some parent emails that have gone out to the school committee and some other groups, including the chief, and we've seen it as well. Tonight I have Chief Sapphire here, who's going to be able to discuss the topic with us, talk a little bit about the history of crossing guards in Millis, how we are where we are, how this came to be, and, you know, how things are functioning currently.
Hello, again.
Hi.
So I'll give you the backdrop of how we got to where we are right now. About 5 years ago, we put out numerous job postings for the position of crossing guard. And ultimately, we never got any applicants. And it was, well, it interferes with my day, well, whatever, because it breaks up your day. It's an hour in the morning, hour in the afternoon. That being said, about that time, automated crosswalks, like you hit the button, the lights flash, that technology started to take over in a lot of places. So with that being said, since we didn't have any applicants, thought about the automated crosswalks, kind of the big reason, right? It benefits everybody in the community. There's 168 hours in a week, right? Each crosswalk position, if it's a full day, a full week of school, it's 10 hours per location. So that leaves you with 158 hours a week when school's in session with no crossing guard. The automated traffic signals at the time were my best possible option because it covered and ensured additional safety for the pedestrians 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nights, weekends, holidays, during the summer when school's out. There's a lot of pedestrian traffic as well during the school day. And make no mistake about it, I'm not against crossing guards, but I'm simply playing the hand that I was dealt. And in my head, installing the automated crosswalk signals throughout town improved safety for all residents at all times of the day, every day of the week. Currently, we have a nice network of them stretched out around the town. We added Plain and Village Street, I think 2 years ago, where we never had anything. Plain and Monroe, Holbrook Square, Main and Auburn, and Park and Main. So that's kind of like the backdrop of why we are here right now with no crossing guards.
Okay, so the issue as it stands is we weren't able to find people that would reliably take on the position. And this included people that would have to be physically capable, trained. They would need to be reliable and show up for that hour in the morning and that hour in the afternoon, rain, sleet, snow, whatever. And we were having trouble finding anybody that would actually do that.
Correct.
So with the installation of the walk signals, what'd you call them?
Crosswalk signals.
Crosswalk signals, that has put into place the ability for not only the children crossing the street to use them, but for all the other pedestrians that are walking during the day, that, especially near the police station, right? That's a very popular crosswalk.
Correct. That's a popular one. And one of the most popular ones isn't even a crosswalk. It's right out here in front of Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
Because most kids, when they get out of school, they come down Park Road, and they're not walking around the building to utilize the button on the crosswalk. They're going path of least resistance.
Right.
Some do use that, but you'd be surprised if you park out here at 2:30 in the afternoon, how many opt not to utilize a crosswalk and
Right.
just go across the street.
Right. So paired with all of this, we currently don't have a budget item for a crossing guard, which we've calculated is somewhere in the vicinity of $80,000.
Between probably 60 and 80 if
60
we were
to
to
80,000.
reinstitute it, yes.
So at this time, we're in a position where we didn't have the applicants and we don't have the budget. Not saying personally, I think crossing guards would be great. People have brought up different options, such as using the police as a crossing guard. Well, we can't really do that, because using the police as a crossing guard would require a 4-hour minimum per contract payout for their time. So we can't just pay a police officer for an hour to do a crossing guard job in the morning and in the afternoon. So you're talking 8 hours of a police officer to do a crossing guard's job. What else?
Volunteers were suggested, but my concern with volunteers is the reliability. Everybody would love to do it if it's a nice day, but dead winter, snowy, sleet conditions, it's, you have to have consistency in this position. So it's not something you can not show up for your volunteer shift if you're volunteering to do it.
Well, and liability for the town.
Added
You know,
liability.
volunteers would bring a lot of liability versus somebody that's hired by the town and it is their job.
Especially if they're inconsistent, you show up.
Chief, can I just ask a question? Have you noticed, have we had any real problems at the crosswalks in the past 5 or 6 years with either school-aged children or adults, or has the lighting seemed to be working pretty well?
We haven't had any issues in the last 5 years, since we've had them. I mean, occasionally, like, we have to replace the batteries, so have the solar panels replaced, but it's a call to the service person, and they come out and handle it. They've been handling most of our signs for years now, through Mr. McKay.
I will say one of the worst areas is right out here at Town Hall, and it's not in regards to the crosswalk, it's just people running the light.
Out
Right
here.
here.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
That's a real light, it's not the
Yeah.
flash.
right, that's a
Right.
real one.
And it does have the walk signal, so when you
Yeah.
press the
Right.
button, you get the walk signal.
Yes, you still need to stop and look
Yes.
both ways.
People are
Yeah.
stopping there still.
Right.
New, how old is it, 5, 6 years?
Out here?
Yeah.
Less
Clyde
than,
Clyde
right?
Brown, when Clyde Brown was built.
Oh,
longer.
yeah.
3 or 4, yeah. And we have had a couple accidents out here with car on car, simply because people don't always follow the traffic lights either. But again, there hasn't been any issues with pedestrians that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so that light went in after the guards were eliminated, which is a very good place to cross with red lights. Oh,
Well, the crossing light, I think, was there before, wasn't it? The crosswalk light was there
it might have been. Now
or
it's a real red
something, but
light.
now it's,
Yeah, now
Now
it's
it's a
both.
full traffic light, yeah.
yeah. Ellen, what do you have?
Well, I have a couple of things. Number one is, I don't see a problem. I don't know why we're fixing something that doesn't appear to be a problem. That's number one. And number two, if you implement something and you're not consistent, it's worse than not implementing anything at all. Because the first time somebody doesn't show up and they were there 3 days earlier, time's going to stand still. People are going to stand, and it's worse. And listen, it's hard to get help today in anything. Maybe if you paid, $100 an hour, you'd get some,
I
maybe.
would be there.
Craig will do it.
Don't sell yourself so cheap, Craig. I just don't see a problem. Typically, when you want to implement something or bring something back, it's because something went wrong. But and if you don't see it, then nothing has gone wrong, as far as I can see.
Chief, if we get some kind of a report that there's like, I don't know, concerning traffic behavior at a particular intersection, we could probably have somebody kind of keep an eye on that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every day during the week, if, I'm sure you see the cruiser parked across the street every morning. So they're out there doing traffic enforcement, but if you have a specific area, you go on the website, it's traffic request, you email it in, goes to the shift supervisors, and they
Okay.
deploy the officers as necessary.
Yeah, because I'm not sure where this came from. Oh, yes, come on up.
Come on up.
Yeah. Come on up and just state your name and street. Yep, that's fine.
Hi, Kaylin Bixby, 7 Tuckerdale Way. Do I say?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, just got to keep it really close, like
Yeah,
4
4
inches.
inches to
I'm
your
not really a public
face.
speaker, that's why I wrote a letter.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put that out there. I would imagine one quite extreme way you would know there was a problem was if a child was hit.
Which we don't want to
we
happen.
don't really want to happen, so I don't think that should be our dipstick or our metric, you know, to say there are no problems, because by the time there is, it's really too late. I do think, in my letter, one of the best suggestions I've heard is trying to ask paras who work at the school to stay an hour late or come an hour early and see if that appeals to anyone, because they're there already. And that's something they do at my school where I
do?
work
Okay.
in Brookline. So I think that's something, I think,
So is that part of their contract?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because it's not my same contract. But what I'll say is that the parents I've spoken to, it's not so much that we don't acknowledge the reality around having difficulty finding someone to do this job. It's more that it feels defeatist to say, then we'll stop looking forever. Because, as we all know, the economy is pretty uncertain right now. Things change in people's lives. Sometimes there are waves of retired people, sometimes whatever it might be. The idea that there will never be anyone who might want to do this job reliably, that just seems unrealistic to me. So I think it's more that from people I hear, that it's not that we have a lot of people being like not understanding. But it does seem like it's not something that we should give up on, since it has to do with child safety. And since the way that we would know there was a problem would be if someone got hit.
But what do you think obviously, nobody wants to, I'm a
Right.
plan ahead
Right, right.
person. Why do you think there's a need at all?
I think at least like all the parents who signed my letter are, almost all of them, are 4th grade parents. Our kids are about to hit an age where we want them to be able to walk independently around the town. And we've seen cars blow through this light and through other lights in the town really frequently. And we don't want that kind of right. I was over there crossing the other day from like where you come out at Clyde Brown and the police station's across the way. There was a family of 3 with like a stroller and a little baby waiting at the crosswalk to cross the street, and 7 or 8 cars just sped by them. And every time they stopped, no one stopped. It just seems like 109 is a pretty dangerous place. I've seen a lot of reckless driving on 109, and most people I've spoken to who have children, that's what we'd like them to be able to walk around independently without us having to worry about them. In addition, I was recently at the Anxious Generation book group thing at the library, where it talks a lot about giving our kids more independence, allowing them to take risks and not tracking them with their phones kind of everywhere they go to allow that. And in order to give them more independence, we need to have some sort of feeling of like safety, that there is that.
But this would only be, but if you want to give your kids independence, it's not just going to be going to and from school.
Of course not,
So
but
the
that would be a
crosswalk-
piece of it.
But the crosswalk is they're only going to be there. What happens at noon or 4?
Or on a half day.
At noon? Oh, you mean if they were going to?
Yeah, during the summer, and just,
I mean, for me, independence is gradual release of responsibility. So it would start with the beginning
Crossing
of the day
to
and the end of the day.
school.
Yeah. And then we'd see how that went. And then as my child becomes more independent, then there would be greater opportunities and more trust that my child could handle greater and greater risk, so to speak.
I hear you, because I have an 8-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and I have not let any of them walk anywhere.
Yeah,
and it's
honestly,
not
like-
just because of the traffic, but
And
But
I hear
nobody
this
walks.
from a lot of parents.
Yeah.
But for some of them, this is the sticking point.
yeah.
My daughter will likely walk to the library by herself, regardless of crossing guards or not, next year. But again, a lot of us are kind of on the same page that it does, and a lot of us, for some reason, there's this like odd critical mass of teachers in the fourth grade, for fourth grade, a lot of parents who are teachers, and all of us work in districts where there are crossing guards. So it seems very strange to us that we live in a town where there are no crossing guards. I literally don't drive through one district on my way to work in Brookline where there aren't crossing guards every morning.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking of another town, but they had a police officer, so that's a whole other ball of wax aside from a crossing guard. But, the para issue is something that, I could certainly ask the school committee, if that's some kind of a scenario that would ever play out. But right now, outside of that, we, like for this fiscal year, we don't have
Yeah, I
the
did put
money.
that there's a grant that the police could apply for to get
So
funding for it.
Then that's not eligible for crossing guards. It's a 100%. I write that grant.
Okay.
It's a traffic safety grant that you sent me. So what that does is it pays for the initiatives for the police officers to go out and conduct directed patrols to enforce distracted driving, OUI, pedestrian bike safety, and the other part of that grant, because it comes as one grant,
Yeah.
but part of it pays for the overtime salary for the officers to go out and do traffic enforcement. And then the other portion, don't hold me to this, but
Yeah.
it's like 20% goes to the purchase of, have you seen the traffic signs?
You're
They're
going
s-
too fast?
They're slightly bigger, and they
Yeah.
flash. There's one on Exchange Street, there's
Yeah.
one down by, so those are $7,000.
Yeah.
That grant pays for that equipment. It will not pay for a crossing guard.
I really appreciate you letting me know that. I would have loved to have known that in a response to my letter.
I did not get your letter.
It's sent it to your email, so, but thank you. I'm
But,
sorry you didn't get
but
it.
no, but in all fairness,
Yeah.
there's been several emails from people that I
Okay.
haven't gotten.
Okay.
Because, whatever, we have IT. I mean, if most people need to get a hold of me, I
Okay.
get right back to you.
All right, maybe the email's wrong on the website. That might just be it. It's a Gmail. So maybe just letting you know the website might need to be updated.
It's not Gmail.
Because that's
Oh,
where I
it
went.
definitely
Gmail,
shouldn't
So
be.
that's the
We don't
thing,
have
is I went to the
Gmail.
Millis
Gmail on our
Police-
website.
It's all-
not on your website.
It's
on his
at
website.
millisma.gov. 100%. But I'll check
No,
it.
I'm serious. Where did you find that? On the police website?
I can actually look at it right now.
Yeah, I'm curious, because I don't think it's on the, I just know, I'm so excited the town website, I'm like, what? I hope
We
it's
should
not
have
on
more
the wrong.
Gmail
If it is
accounts.
wrong, I'll certainly update it.
No, and if I'm wrong, I'll certainly admit it.
Yeah. I just,
If I'm wrong, I'm not admitting anything.
well, we know that, Ellen.
Just putting that out.
No, but I know, because that's a serious, like, I just want to know.
I'm going now
I don't want to hold everyone up here, I'm sorry.
That's
It's
right.
fine, it's fine.
I said Gmail.
This is
Yeah,
from Robin.
I'd be interested in looking to see, Paris is not part of their school contract. They were just the applicants that did the job, assuming we can find, and if it's $60,000 to $80,000, we can look at it for next year's budget. But if it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
part of the parent contract,
Maybe I sent, let me see if I sent it to you or if it is.
I'm not.
You don't have to first, because my email.
Yeah, so
IT is cranked up.
I'll reach out to the school committee and,
Would that be,
Yeah,
would
I
that fall under
apologize
the
if I
school
did send
budget,
it
not
to
the
the
town
wrong
budget, I would
place.
think?
I would think so.
I would look at Paris as a pool of people that are in town
Right,
that may apply for a 1 hour before and after.
right, for extra money,
Yeah,
that's not a
before-
bad idea.
And depending what time their contract ends and stuff, they'd have to be out there early, they'd have to stay.
Yeah.
They have to be able to hit their school time.
Sorry.
Or I was going to say the extended day people as well.
But either way, we have to find money for it.
Yep, I didn't get it.
Okay. It was millismath.gov. I did send it to the right place, but I think he's been hacked and somehow.
Okay, so it did go, phew. I was like, oh, God.
So,
In
and
which
ju-
case, I apologize.
Just a trail on that sign. So those signs we can move. I know it's not a crossing guard, but there's computers built into that. So if somebody has a perception of, traffic, that cars are doing 50 miles an hour, whatever it might be, that sign gives the actual individual car count for up to a month, tells you if they're commercial vehicles, motor vehicles. It gives you the high speed, the low speed, the highest speed, the lowest speed, and then it generates a time for effective traffic enforcement. We have like 3 of those.
So that will give you the statistics to know if you need to put more officers in a certain area.
So we have 4 of those devices, and one of them is a little black box that's just portable, so we put that out all the time at different locations.
Okay.
So I think in terms of an action item at this moment, I can certainly pose the question to the school about paras. Once again, I don't even know if they would have it in their budget, because I'd assume they'd have to pay for it, or we'd have to pay for it, and we've already done the budget
Yeah, I think I
for
was
the year.
proposing it more as a way to find a field of applicants that were already going to be there and that might be willing, you know, again, at least in my school system, a lot of times, like, your parents will do your homework club because it's after school, they're there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that it was more that.
It's a
like,
great idea.
This is where you might find a pool of applicants if,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, let me throw it out to
the
them.
desire were there.
Yeah, let me throw it out to them and see what their thoughts on that is, and see if, you know, they want to try to see if there's any interest. You know, the issue will still exist, at least for this year, of how would we pay for that?
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't think anybody's against it. I just think we have a lot of roadblocks right now, and money is like the number one. And then willing volunteers is number 2.
I think money is number 2. I think the volunteers is number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a 2-hour-a-day job.
right.
It's not consecutive 2 hours.
Absolutely, but
And if
almost every
somebody
other
not show
district
up-
manages to find people.
Yeah,
So it's
and
not
then-
like they're not out there.
Yeah, I think it's the difficult, I do believe it's the difficulty in finding them, because when my kids all graduated from Millis, and there were crossing guards that were slowly disappearing because we couldn't find the replacements. And then we put the signs up because nobody was one here, so, yeah. I was on the finance committee when the signs went up. So I remember them going in because there was no applicants at all. And the other side of that is, I mean, I walk downtown in the evening, and we use the crossing. Nobody would run my wife over, they're scared of her. But they, she makes it clear she's crossing the street. But it works, I mean, the stoplights work, but, and my fear is if we relied on guards who aren't reliable, then we're going to have a 4th grader who's expecting somebody and there won't be anybody there, which is a worse problem than having a functional life that was trained how to do it. So,
Okay.
Well, thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for coming.
yeah.
Yep, thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, Scott Fusey, 411 Union. For someone who walks all over this town, presses all the lights and everything, I think the chief has done a tremendous job since he's been
Thank you, Chief.
trying to get the lights in and get the officers and you know, and he works hard at getting the traffic enforcement grants and everything. So I think, you know, it's a fool's game to think that, you know, I don't think being a crossing guard is a desirable job anymore. You're out there in all kinds of weather. You're out there in any time. So, I mean, you know, the lights work for now, and hopefully at some point we can put people out there and make it desirable. So, thank you.
Yeah, we'll try.
Yep.
Thank you. All right.
On to open session items.
Open session items, okay.
So, Madam Chair, in the board's packet is an email from Jim Donovan, our IT director. He is requesting that the board approve a new 2-year subscription with Civic Plus for website services. The agreement would include both the core website platform and integrated accessibility tools to ensure compliance with ADA standards. So this evening, I am requesting that the board approve and enter into a contract with Civic Plus of Manhattan, Kansas. Is it?
We don't make any noise. There's a speaker on someplace, or I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a speaker picking up. All right.
All right. So I'm
Let's push
requesting
through to the end.
I'm requesting that the board approve and enter into a contract with Civic Plus of Manhattan, Kansas for municipal website services and migration to include AudioEye for ADA accessibility. And this would be, again, it's a 2-year with the option of a 3rd-year renewal. So I'm asking for the board to authorize up to 3-year contract and to authorize the town administrator to sign the document on the town's behalf.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. The
617.
next item, Madam Chair, is a approval of a revised host community agreement, or an HCA, for 617 Therapeutic Health Center, Inc. We do have a current agreement with them, but due to recent changes to Massachusetts general laws, we are required to alter our current HCA with 617 Therapeutic Health Center, so that the agreement will not be in violation of any state law. Town council and I have worked with the representatives of 617 to develop the proposal in your package, which is in full compliance with the state law. And town council and I are recommending the board vote to approve the new HCA as presented. As the board's aware, 617 is a cultivation and, I believe, manufacturing facility. And as such, town council and I are recommending that we maintain an HCA with them so that any possible issues of odor and or noise which may arise can be addressed through the HCA. So with that, I am requesting that the board approve and enter into the host community agreement with 617 Therapeutic for an indoor marijuana cultivator and marijuana product manufacturer, which is located at 1073 Main Street, as written in your packet and presented this evening. And I believe you have a representative.
Right, you have two representatives. You have Pete D'Agostino and Bill Hewson are both here from
We can't
617.
hear Bill.
Bill, you're
is
on mute, sir.
Hey, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Pete D'Agostino on behalf of 617. First, I guess we'll start just by saying thank you to the town administrator and town council for working through this, and to the town in general for the relationship we've had over the last several years. It really has been incredible. We know this has been a lot of work for all the municipalities to go through these HCA updates, if you will, in light of what the legislature passed in 2022. So it's been a pleasure working again with the town and the town administrator and town council. We're here to answer any questions the board may have, but as the town administrator accurately said, we're in agreement with the HCA as presented to the board and approved by, or recommended, I should say, by town council, not approved by.
I have a question. This is not a red line version. What changed? I mean,
It was basically, in large aspect, rewritten. I think there were provisions in there that had to do with certain required payments based on percentages and based on other factors that are no longer allowable under the revised regulations under the state law and the CCC approved regulations. So the contract here is pretty standard for most types of facilities like this under the new regulations. So I know if we talked a bit in the past about how the state has been evolving with the law and the regulations over time, which has changed the conditions and required many communities across the Commonwealth to either radically change their agreements or to just waive them altogether.
right, and but this isn't on renewal. This is the existing HCA. So there was a provision for payment, and that payment provision's been removed entirely?
Right, because it's no longer allowed under
Yeah.
state law.
I have a question. Hi, guys. Is this the template from the CCC, or did you guys make this, did you and town council create this?
We had proposed the model HCA from the CCC. Town council added some provisions as town administrator indicated, specifically related to noise and odor. We agreed without amendment to those revisions that were provided by town council.
Okay, I totally support that. I wonder if they're going to accept it.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree that,
Seriously.
At this point, we have had quite a bit of experience in which any amendment to the model HCA has been rejected, as Ellen has indicated and shaking her head. So we very likely may be back to discuss this, but we, as the licensed entity, were agreeable to town council's edits my opinion is they don't go beyond the scope of the law. I think they're reasonable and appropriate. However,
However,
I'll give you
it's-
an example in the city.
However, it's the CCC, and they don't care. We all
I'll
know.
give you an example. We worked with the city of Framingham. They have a solicitor, so in-house counsel. We had to make 3 revisions to get it approved by the CCC, and us and the town and the city were in agreement the entire time. So notwithstanding the fact that we had agreed to certain provisions, the CCC did amend it. So I think, to Alan's point, it's a reasonable expectation by the board that we may have to revisit some of the additional provisions, but we are agreeable to them, and quite frankly, I don't think they go beyond the law. I think town council kept them within the corners of the law, notwithstanding the fact that the CCC, maybe unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, depends on how you think of it, they are the final approval authority now for HCA. So all we can do as parties is agree to enter into it, and then submit it to the CCC for final approval, which we will do quickly, and we'll get feedback. And that feedback, quite frankly, actually goes to the municipality first, and we are CC'd on the communication. So the town will know moments before we do what the CCC's decision is. But I do think town council, again, I think her recommendation relative to noise and odor did not go beyond Chapter 94G as amended by Chapter 180. So we were very comfortable with the provision she had.
And Madam Chair, and I've spoken to the board in the past about the CCC and my concerns there. I think at times it seems nothing short of a dumpster fire up there that they've been operating.
Yeah, at times, at all times.
And I'm trying to be generous. I'm hopeful that things will start to improve up there. They have a new executive director, which I think is a hopeful sign, someone who's I know and is a professional. And I'm hoping some of the changes that the legislature is looking at currently will make some positive adjustments up there. But I do agree with Mr. D'Agostino that it's certainly possible we may be back. But at the same time, I do fully support what our town council is trying to do and put in here. And I do support, this approach, this agreement, even at the risk of having to return here in a month or two to examine it again.
All right.
And Madam Chair, just for the record, we do as well. So we're happy to come back should the CCC require, but we felt the town council's revisions were appropriate.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I move that the board approve and enter into the host community agreement with 617 Therapeutic Health Center, Inc., an indoor marijuana cultivator and marijuana product manufacturer located at 1073 Main Street as written and presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you both very
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Good luck.
Have a great night.
Appreciate your partnership. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Take
you.
care.
Take care.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair, staying on the subject of cannabis.
Okay.
So, under the new regulations and state laws involving cannabis, one of the new provisions is that all communities must, that have any cannabis businesses are required to adopt a cannabis social equity policy. Even if they don't have one and one never materializes, we need to have a policy. In working with town council, we have developed the attached proposed cannabis social equity policy in your packet, hopefully for your approval this evening. This policy does meet all the legal requirements outlined by the Commonwealth and its Cannabis Control Commission. The only item that I have not filled in the document is number 6, which describes the % reduction of the community impact fee for social equity program applicants. In speaking with council, the reduction can range from no reduction in fee to a complete waiver of the fee. So it's usually measured in a percentage. So it's really up to the board. However, in considering the changes in state laws regarding the industry, I'm recommending that the board consider a complete waiver of that fee. Right now, under our current regulations, there are no other retail establishments that can come into the town, but there could be a cultivation facility or a manufacturing facility that's from a social equity firm that may come in. So that's totally up to the board.
And the Cannabis Control has eliminated HCA agreements or the fees.
Certain fees,
Yeah.
impact fees within them. They have to be very precise, and now it's no longer,
Right, but
it's
there's
no
no
longer a
generic
projected fee.
3%, yeah.
It's an after-the-fact fee.
Yeah.
You have to show your damages and your costs, and you have to go to them and request it, and they can deny it and appeal. And so there's really a whole process. So if you have a business that's not cooperative with the town, it's very difficult to collect these fees.
So just my question is that on that, and
It
either
doesn't
one.
matter.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, I was saying 100% is what I think it should go to, but I was just saying if we put it at 100% and they do violate our noise and our odor requirements, that's not going to fall under the impact fee anyway. That's going to be a building inspector kind of thing.
Yeah, that's really be best addressed through the building inspector's
So it's 100%,
regulations.
that's what I was getting at.
So for a prospective but
Not fast
unlikely
enough for you,
new
evidently.
social equity business, I think the building commissioner can address those through their mechanisms better than we can here,
Okay.
actually.
First of all, the CCC doesn't care what number you put in here.
Right.
Okay. So you could put 0%, you could put 50%, you could put 100%. At the end of the day, Millis is not going to get a penny,
Yep.
okay?
Really, the only leverage we have is through our building commissioner
Right.
and the regulations
So
there.
you,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
So I'd say 100% reduction is fine.
Yeah. Since we're not charging them anything, let's reduce it by 100, let's reduce it by 1,000%. All right,
There you
so,
go.
all right, so I move the board approve the cannabis social equity policy as written and presented with item number 6, having a 100% reduction of the community impact fee.
Let's think about that for a
Or
second.
do you want to leave it at 0?
No,
Then
no,
negotiate.
but I don't know why we should give 100%. I think we should give 50%. What do you think of that?
Well, I was going with the theory we can't charge it at all.
We can't.
So 100% or 50%
But
of 0
minute
is
you
the same
But the minute
answer.
you give away something,
Yeah. We
right?
negotiate them down to 100.
You never know.
Split the difference.
Right?
50, there's no
I'm
harm to
okay
it.
because I think that there is no money coming in from
There
this
isn't.
at all.
There's
But I
no
like
harm either
50.
way, but
Stand
yeah,
on principle.
there you go.
Yeah,
Put a 0 in there and stand on principle. No, let's do 50% reduction.
all right, I like 50.
I'll move it to 50,
Okay,
since it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you never know with that odor. The only thing we care about with this group
Is
in
the odor.
particular, although I have not smelled it literally
Since,
since
No, I haven't.
months and months
So
and months
let's
ago.
see.
But July's coming.
but they put in your odor thing that you talked to them about,
They did. Not for
so
nothing.
maybe it's helping.
It's going to get kicked out. But
the
it's okay,
CCC,
because we
okay.
can do another agreement with the,
Yeah, we'll let them tell us exactly what's wrong with it and have them
Yeah.
send it back.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I like 50%.
All right,
You- what do
I'm
you
fine with
think,
50.
Ellen?
I don't think it matters. Yeah.
I mean, it looks just as good to the CCC.
Yeah.
They can't even add, so they probably think 50 is better than 100.
We're not saying anything the IG
Did I
hasn't
just say
said
that?
publicly.
Okay, so you want a motion, 50?
50.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Ever the negotiator, Ellen.
Yes.
Do 0 and negotiate
My
down to
life,
50.
I know, I was thinking of 0 too.
So, Madam
I mean,
Chair,
since there's no
the
money,
next
why care?
item, and I want to really focus on this as one of the great success stories of intermunicipal cooperation, is regarding our animal control services that we share with the town of Medway. That agreement has been in place for quite a great number of years beyond before I arrived here. We have an outstanding relationship with Medway overall, but that's one of our best partnerships. We have excellent staff with our ACO department, but every 3 years we have to renew the agreement with the intermunicipal agreement with Medway. And our current agreement does expire on June 30th, at the end of this month. The new 3-year agreement is very similar to our current agreement as far as its terms. Really, the one thing I would note is Appendix E, which describes the payments by each town for the new ACO vehicle, which was approved at our town meeting. So the town of Medway will be giving us payments over the next 3 years to cover their share of that vehicle. And again, I want to thank not only the ACO and her assistant for their great work, but also the administrative staff over at Medway that's worked very well with us in managing this overall cooperative agreement. With that, I am requesting that the board approve and sign the 3-year intermunicipal agreement with Medway for animal control services as presented in your packet.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you. So we'll let the board know when Medway approves it. I expect within the next couple of weeks, we'll get their approval.
And I just wanted to throw out that perhaps bringing the animal control services in for one of the
Oh.
municipal moments might be a nice idea as we're talking about this. I will tell you, we are very fortunate to have both the ACO and the assistant ACO over there. They deal with everything under the sun, and with Grace, it's amazing what they deal with. Last week alone, it was everything from a rabid raccoon to a bearded dragon that was in the middle of the street. So you never know what they're going to find.
Yeah. They are very active, even though not much reaches
know.
here, which we should all be thankful for, because usually we
Yes.
don't want it to reach
But
here, we
not
want them
only
to resolve
that,
it.
they're the people, I always thought it was the DPW that you called to come with a shovel and
Yeah.
pick up a dead animal.
That's in the road.
It's them.
Yes, they do
And-
hard work, hard
And
labor.
I just called them the other morning for a raccoon the size of this desk in the middle of 115, and she responds, and it's
Yes.
gone by.
They're very responsive, they're great with people and animals.
Terrific.
No, truly, I can't say anything, we've had nothing but compliments, and they're also very big in pro-education. They try to take every opportunity, if you follow them on Facebook, I encourage everyone to follow them, that they take the opportunity to educate the public as well, so
They're terrific.
might be fun to bring them in.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so the next item, Madam Chair, is our first purchase and sale agreement for
I
sale of...
think, did we do a motion?
Motion?
I move
sorry.
that the board approve and sign a 3-year intermunicipal agreement.
Oh.
We did that one already?
I think you did it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just approved it, didn't they?
I thought we did,
I thought they
but
did.
Another so moved.
I did.
Yes.
And then she seconded and we voted, but
Yes. We're good.
So you have a purchase and sale agreement in your packet,
Invested.
which has been, and this is with, this is for the parcel at 141 Pleasant Street. No, I'll take that back. This is
supposed to know.
for, hold
I don't know where
on.
141
That's the owner, that's the current
I was
person
gonna say,
that's
wow.
purchasing it.
This
Morris
is Morris
Street.
Street in Millis, correct?
Right, so it doesn't have an actual address. So, again, this was, we did receive the bid at $2,250, and the assessed value of the property was $1,500, so this is above the assessed value for a parcel of vacant land. So again, this purchase and sale's been really put together by our town council, and I do request at this time that the board approve and sign the purchase and sale agreement between the town of Millis and Michael J. O'Keefe for a parcel of vacant land located at Morris Street containing .18 acres and shown as parcel ID 40-100-000 for a total of $2,250.
so moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
And just to
Thank you.
quickly add, again, if anyone's interested, this is one of the 2 parcels that was approved at the fall annual town meeting back in 2024. We added a whole bunch of parcels for the spring. Those are not ready yet to be put out there. We will not do it under cover of darkness. We will let everyone know when we're ready to get those sale. Right now, they're doing some title research, and it's probably going to be quite a few months before we can do that, so just
Who's doing,
hold tight.
who's doing the title? research?
Title research, our council.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Me,
met with
Talman,
council last week
Costa.
and went through a whole process, so there's 90-something parcels, they have to
Yeah.
research every one of them. So it's going to be a little bit of time,
It's
but
gonna take a
hopefully
couple
by
months to go through all
fall,
of
maybe right after the fall town meeting, we'll be able to actually put them out. But if anyone has interest in any of the parcels, they can certainly reach out to me or this office, and we'll just add you and make sure we keep you in the loop.
What happened to the second one?
It's in process.
It's in
but
process.
It's just a
The
couple
PNS
weeks
is out there, it
behind.
hasn't been returned.
And
So
it
we're
was
just
assessed
waiting.
at, that was assessed at $1,500.
This one, yes.
Assessed $24 to the town about each
Yeah.
year on
There you go,
taxes.
there you go.
That's right, very excited. Little quick math there, I
Every
like
dollar
it, I
counts.
like it.
Just letting you know, there's money rolling in.
So, in speaking with our town council, they also recommended that unless the board wants to have a board meeting at every closing, they recommended that the board designate a member of the board to be authorized to sign at the closings of all of future parcels. So I'd be asking if there was a board member who's interested in attending closings for signature, that would.
When you say the closings.
I knew that was happening.
You mean the PNSs and?
No,
all
the
The
actual
final
closing.
You mean
closing.
just the deed?
There needs to be a final signature at closing.
Okay.
And they have to be present at a certain time in a certain place?
Yes.
Potentially, a lot of them are online now.
No, they do them online now.
You can do it online.
So,
I haven't bought a house in 33 years.
All on.
I know.
So,
A lot
so
of
a
it's
lot
online
of them are
now.
done
Right.
online, but again, it would, from a operational standpoint, it'd be a lot easier if one member
I don't mind.
was designated and
I'm here.
authorized.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
Don't
you
blow
still
up
have
the
to have a
deals.
meeting if all
Don't
three
blow
of
'em
you
up.
attended,
I'm
so.
going to make this town rich.
$24.
Everyone
So-
heard that, everyone heard that.
So basically, moving forward, the last step of the whole board in these processes would be to approve the
Yeah.
purchase and sale, and as long as your designee is comfortable that the closing documents are in alignment with that in town council,
Yep.
then they would have the authorization to sign off for the town.
Okay, I like it.
I move that the board appoint Ellen as the authorized signatory for all future real estate transactions with the town of Millis is selling a parcel of town-owned land.
Second.
You were not going to be second yourself.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Power grab. Sign
That's
all
even, Ellen, that's a step up from a liaison.
You're going to get to report each of those meetings as a liaison report.
Yes.
You're going to win.
I know.
Well, that brings us to liaison
Liaison.
updates. I have nothing.
I have two.
First of all, before we do it, are we sticking with all our sames?
We're going to talk about it at the next meeting.
Next meeting.
Think
Yeah.
about what you want, you can
Yeah,
do it on
think
the
about what
30th.
you want.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I
Okay.
attended the economic development meeting.
Oh, God, that's worth 6 of mine, so have at it.
I would like to invite everybody to RSVP so we know how much pizza to get from Luca's Pizza for the Wednesday night meeting. It's billed as a community social event, which it will be, but it's also really a working meeting to help define what we want to do downtown. Just to be clear, it's not going to be the town government developing it. They're trying to put together a business group to work on it and the businesses in the area. You're not going to go down there and vote that we have the town administrator or the town select board purchase buildings and do things with them. This is to encourage businesses to do things.
I like it.
Secondly, I attended the school building committee, but so did Ellen.
Yeah. And, do you remember anything that was accomplished during that meeting, by the way?
Well, we did talk about, the one thing that was interesting, excuse me, we talked about the placement of the locker rooms, because a lot of people have looked
Yes.
at it, and they've seen the locker rooms are in the middle of the building.
So what yeah, this
So
is
people with
interesting.
cleats would have to walk through the building to get to the fields. But the problem is, it's millions and millions of dollars to move the locker
Well,
rooms.
you have to explain
Yeah.
that they added a whole set of
Yeah.
rooms across the way. When
The
I
middle
was going to
school, yeah.
school there, you could walk right outside from the boys' and girls' locker rooms. Well, now you can't.
Right.
Because they added the middle school classes. So you have to go through indoor real estate.
Right.
With your cleats to get to the outside fields.
And that was deliberate, because by not building that middle school wing, it would have cost us over $2 million in rental space for trailers.
That's true.
And it would have changed the entire design of the building, and moving the locker rooms to the outside would have cost millions because of all the plumbing.
The plumbing.
So the solution is some type of sports floor that is $100,000, and you replace it every 10 years, but it's way cheaper than any of the
Well,
alternative
plastic
options.
cleats. Didn't you say plastic?
Rubber cleats. or
Rubber
something.
cleats.
I don't know if they use metal cleats anymore
I
or
don't-
not.
I don't
have
either.
no
I don't
idea.
think you can.
I don't think
I
they
don't know
do.
if they're
So
legal.
that's going to be less traumatic
Right.
anyway. But you can find a quality sports floor that's going to have to be
Yeah.
replaced, but it's going to cost millions less than the alternative. So even though it looks inconvenient, it doesn't look well-designed, it is millions of dollars cheaper than any of the
That's a good
alternatives.
question.
Yeah, and it also.
And it was thought out well. It wasn't, oh, look what we did. you know?
Yeah.
Rick, Fire Chief Rick noticed that right away
Yeah.
and wanted that commented on. But there's as Aaron mentioned, there's an update on 1 o'clock this
Right.
Wednesday at the library. So you can learn everything that's going on. They're working diligently on moving the project forward. One other thing that came up, because I asked the question, the building is going to be gas. It's going to be powered by gas. That's what's there now, and that's what's going to be there. But they are making provisions to put the infrastructure for future, to switch it to electric. The stuff isn't out there yet to power a building this size today or in 2 years, electric only. It just doesn't exist. So to do it is a disaster. And they don't think that that would need to be done until the gas life is over, which is 30 years, not 5 years, not 10. We're not going to come back in 5 years and say, oh, time to switch to electric, give us another $10 million. So they're really thinking this through. And I think that's what comes across if you attend these meetings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's well thought out. There are
They're
answers
thinking
for things
everything,
that,
and thinking of cost
Yeah.
first.
yeah, and it's interesting to watch the cost structure change as they get more and more refined on this.
Right.
And it's moving down,
great.
it's not moving up.
Right.
So that's as we expected.
Value engineering.
Yep.
Yes.
We haven't even gotten to that yet. This is just the design. This is just engineering.
Yeah, just engineering.
It's really good. I think it's really good.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it's
pleased
really
with the
good.
whole process with it.
They were even talking about, now I remember, they were talking about block versus brick, right?
Right.
Some of the exterior
The exterior materials, it's, and trying to keep a unified campus look and everything else.
Right,
It was a very
with
well
the
thought out
Clyde.
meeting.
Yeah.
Nice.
They don't
Yeah.
want this to look, they want it to be integrated.
Yeah.
And they don't want to take down the existing exterior, so they got to tie the existing exterior brickwork into the new brickwork and tie it all together. It's going to be, it's well thought out.
It is, it was good.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't
For
have
you?
anything else.
Oh, well, let me start with mine. I have
Yeah.
a whole list here.
I'm just going to say Economic Development Committee again.
Energy, the Energy Committee. So they have a consultant, grant money, doing the roadmap, right, to zero in 2050. Well, it's not going to happen, but they're good. So
Right.
we had a whole presentation by the consultant and trying to figure out where we are now, what do we need to do to get to zero, and they're talking about town vehicles, that's big. Not making them order them yet, but to consider the possibility of electric vehicles in the future.
Yeah.
All town vehicles, including buses. So that's something. The SBC, he mentioned, we had a little meeting that we should let people know about,
Oh,
right? Millis
right.
Housing.
Yes.
We had a really nice meeting with
We did.
Millis Housing and their consultant. Who was he with?
MAPC.
MAPC. And talking about where we are in the process. And I think people thought that, so this is to add
Right.
to our housing inventory, right?
For the
Which
Housing
is
Authority.
The
Yeah.
Housing Authority, which is 100% based on, 100% affordable, not the
Right.
fake affordable, 40B affordable, that's got a minimum of 100 grand.
Right.
This is based on what your income. So this is 100% affordable, Millis residents get priority, and it's free, right? Because you partner up with this company and blah, 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 blah. So we had a nice meeting, and I think that they thought, the biggest thing that come out of the meeting is, it's not going to be on November's.
Right.
We're
Right.
pushing it, because we can't have, nobody wants that with the school reno.
Yeah.
So the timeline's being pushed back, which they actually breathed a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said they
In the
could
end-
make good use of the extra time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they slipped behind a little bit, so now they're going to be able to catch up, and we'll have many more meetings. And we won't have to have such a push over the summer, because there's nobody here in the summer.
Right.
And so it will start probably after November town meeting, which
I
will
was
be a
going to say,
nice.
probably right after the holidays, it'll
January,
really start
February
to
will be the
really
information campaign for it.
start hearing a lot
was
more
good.
about it.
Yeah, I'd like to see how big the November town meeting is, because we discussed that we have these overrides that could run into an hour-plus discussion,
Yeah.
whether it should be a standalone special or not, but no need to decide yet, but just
Right.
if there's 30 items on the regular agenda, we may want to look at split.
Yeah, I mean, so you certainly have at least into,
And not having that there's gonna-
mid-September to make that
Yes.
final
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah, and not
you know.
having the housing authority on there is going to help with the time commitment, too.
And in
Yeah.
fact, Kathy Smith, our now town clerk, or will be officially the town clerk, July 1, came up and was wondering about a date for town meeting and also the election. She was hoping that sooner than later, you can get a date established and we can stick to it.
I'm only going to say one thing about the date. We're going to pick a date that Jay Talaman
Yes.
can be there.
So I know it's early, and we talked about it being
But-
early,
but
but
we
if
can
you can
get in.
decide on the June 30th and set the date, I think it's worth thinking
Yeah.
about. She also said that the board it's up to the board if you want to allow early voting, and if you do want to allow early voting for the vote itself.
For the-
It could be-
for the
oh,
ballot
it could be
override.
it could be for a week before, it could be 2 weeks before, that'll all be your decision and your recommendation.
Okay.
So think about those things for the 30th, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be a great topic.
And so usually you do have the town meeting first and the ballot question would be after. It's not required. You
Right.
could do it either way. But, and usually we try to have the town meeting, either the first or at the latest second week of November. And then you have to kind of choose a time for the actual election for the debt exclusion question.
So I won't be here the week of November 2nd.
This is where it all starts to fall apart, boys.
But
But it's not me this time, so that's okay.
So, I mean.
So I could do November
I did it last
10th. It's a
time.
Monday.
Yeah, we do have it listed, so November 10th, the only thing about the 10th, and she actually mentioned the 10th. The day, Kathy Smith, I'm sorry, when we came up, we were
Now, you
talking.
say Kathy Smith's the town clerk. Is she appointed or elected right now as the town clerk?
She is not officially the town clerk yet, as of November 1st,
Yes.
November.
July.
It's late.
But which way? Will it be,
it'll
will the
be-
appointment have gone through?
We're hoping that it will be official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do anticipate that on June 30th at your meeting would be the actual appointment.
Well, I shouldn't say that, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. We do have
Yeah.
to advertise it internally
Let's
for a
list
week,
it
but
and
let's just
everything,
say,
but yeah.
anyway, I was trying to explain who she was.
Right.
Don't want to get into the
Yeah, we
weeds with
gotta-
it, but yes, but anyway, the 10th, so we are closed on the 11th.
Yes.
Because that's Veterans
Right.
Day.
Yep.
So maybe the 10th does make sense, I don't know.
Well, if it's a late night, at least that'll
Yeah.
be better.
Right, so that's certainly a
I'm
possibility.
gone until the
Just,
9th.
again,
But
I
the
would.
10th, we're closed on the, what day of the week is the 11th?
It's Tuesday.
So we're
Tuesday.
closed on the Tuesday because it's Veterans Day.
So we'd have to pick a date for the election.
We got to pick a date for the election.
But the problem with
To not
that
be the
is,
11th.
do you want to have something on the 10th when that could potentially be a long weekend and people won't be here?
Well, that's the other question, and she mentioned that, so something to think about. But again, you may want to reach out to council and figure out when Jay can make it.
All right, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
So,
So just, it's early, but I'm just telling you, if we can get a date now, it's a good idea probably for everybody.
Yeah, and the vote doesn't have to be in November for the ballot
Right.
vote.
Correct.
That could be.
It could be in early
So-
December.
So we could do I'm just throwing it out there, you could do the 17th for town meeting, you don't want to do the week of the 24th for.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
I know
So you
if
could
go.
do December 1st, just
You're
in theory.
pushing.
Yeah. If
Wasn't
you
there
go
a
too, I wouldn't go
tax
too
thing?
much past, right, the 10th of November, if you can help it, because then you start getting into issues with the financial stuff
Yeah, I
for
can
Jody.
speak with the finance folks about the
Aaron.
17th, but it'd
Yeah.
probably be workable.
When are you gone?
I am gone.
The second, you
I'm
said.
going to tell everybody on TV
That's all right.
that I'll be gone.
But someone will be at our house with a
Yes.
armed guard.
I'll be gone the week of the 2nd.
So I'm house
Of
sitting for the
November.
week of the 2nd to the 9th, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Good. Looking forward to traveling.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, 17th, you couldn't do it later than the 17th, that would be
No, that would be,
too late. So that's your drop dead, but you could do it the 10th or the 17th.
All right, we'll talk about it.
yeah,
Okay.
the long weekend issue might be something.
Yeah.
Just wanted to poke you.
Okay,
Just to start thinking about it.
The water sewer commitment.
So I am recommending the board approve the Water and Sewer Department commitment to the collector for May 2025 in a total amount of $1,387.46.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, and I recommend that the board approve the Water and Sewer Department commitment to the collector for the fourth quarter of fiscal year '25 for a total of $923,561.46.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Now Craig.
I move the board enter executive session for the following reason: to conduct strategy session in preparation for contract negotiation with non-union personnel. Finance Director, Town Administrator.
I'll poll the board. Ellen?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, Millis Community Media, for taking care of us on TV, and have a